cannot serve God and mammon. These are words of Jesus. We're talking about servant ministry. And so we've gone to the scripture that said, let's see what God has to say about this. And this is part of it. He said, you cannot serve God and mammon. And you say, well, Pastor King, what is mammon? It's simply wealth. You can't serve your things and expect that to somehow relate to that which is spiritual as a human person that can comprehend and understand spiritual things if we apply ourselves to it. But here in this scripture, he's talking about mammon. He's talking about wealth. And it says you cannot serve God and mammon because as we have the scripture given to us in the Old Testament where God literally will often bring us to a place of testing and trial to have us show our colors, you might say, as whether or not we really are a people that's trusting God and walking in faith, or are we people who, well, we sometimes walk in faith, but most of the time we don't. Well, the thing is, there's a price to be paid for that. And that price is simply this, just being out of the fellowship of God. And I find that to be one of the most grievous things that can happen. Somebody, their time ends. They're no longer a person who's involved in things that directly affect us spiritually. And so we're finding ourselves being led by darkness, which is not the spiritual eye. It's the opposite of that. It's evil. This is what it says here in the scripture. It's evil. And we find people, they're being led by evil. And so you see evil all around the world, people killing each other. And you say, well, what are they fighting about? Well, they're fighting about this and that. Sometimes they're just fighting over some tradition. People find themselves engaged in the carnal pursuit because they're not engaged in the spiritual pursuit. So you say, well, okay, how do you find yourself being able to go through all of this? Because the truth is that Scripture has been written, and there are things that are the reality of this world, because we know that there is an enemy in this world. He's all about the stealing and the killing and the destroying. We know that. So our desire is to say, Lord, give me that place in life for me to serve. And Lord, let me do it with a love in my heart. Let me do it with a compassion in my heart. And Lord, let me serve you with all of my heart. All of my heart. And it doesn't matter what's going on around you as far as what other people think or comprehend. It's what you know in your relationship with the true and the living God. You see, we stand before God in our service, in our the way we give allegiance to things. We stand before God and we are accountable before God. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast